Hey, everybody, and welcome to Candice Speaks. I want to talk about Potomac Reunion Season 7, Reunion Part 1, Season 7. Um, it did not disappoint, so we got to talk about it. And I can't wait for what's coming behind it. But since you're here, can you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the notification button so that we can really get into this in the future and, have some good conversation. Let's start. I'm not doing this in order because I think we had an MVP in this. But let's start with Ashley. First of all, her dress. Did y'all like her dress? Let me take a second. I sure can't see. Oh, so I'm going natural with my hair, y'all. I've been perming my hair since I was a kid. And I'm like, it's time. I'm getting old. And I need to see what my own hair looks like for a change. So I'm actually, plus it started breaking off. Going on natural. Let's see how this works. Back to Ashley. What did y'all think about her dress? It was very revealing. But let me just say this about Ashley. You know what? When you still have that body, honey, if you can wear it, rock it. Because everybody cannot wear dresses or the clothing that she wears. And she's very cute in it. It works for her. I actually like Ashley. I think she just knows her job. That's why whenever she's doing some shady stuff, she's always grinning. Because she knows her job. Is Ashley going to really get divorced? Is she going to really divorce Michael? Or was that just one of her storylines or something? Because she did not get half. According to Ashley, things did not work out the way she planned them to. Do you think she decided the whole divorce thing because the prenup clause, I think it was like a 5-year clause or something, was over, so she was free? Or is it because she just wants monogamy now? Because that's what she's saying. She and Michael got together and they did the threesome, just the wild thing and stuff together, and whatever, good for them. I don't know. I think Ashley has love for Michael. I think she knew what she was doing when she hooked up with him, but still had an attraction for him. Actually has some real love for him. I think she could have wanted to change because children will do that to you, especially when they're brand new and they're babies. Everything about your old you becomes new when you really have mothering, nurturing, um, healthiness. I'm gonna call it healthiness in you because everybody does not have that, which is why they'll just be wild and out there and buck wild, regardless if they have children. But when you really have mothering love inside of you, and you have your own child that you carried and you gave birth to, you will change. Your world circles around your children. Everything, their safety, their emotional safetyness, their mental health, everything. I think it's very possible that she really doesn't want the wildlife and wants to her kids to see the Darbys as a family. And he's not ready for that. Michael Wild. Just my thought. And the prenup doesn't hurt. The problem is her prenup did not leave her with half. She did not get the best end of the stick for her prenup. So what she gets is the house that she's in, that she says she's paying $13,000 a month. Well, he is. Because she couldn't afford that through their LLC. They no business. And she has some kind of safety clause in there. She does not get alimony. She doesn't get alimony. But she will get some child support. So whatever they have set up, she didn't get that house, Eddie. She didn't get that. But Ashley's not a fool either. So I think she kind of knew whatever else is in there. She wasn't very specific about, but she knows, like she said, there's a safety net. Those kids will not ever be without, and they're going to always have the lifestyle that they are accustomed to. I think Michael Darby's worth like 20 plus million, 25 million, something like that. Yeah, he's a real estate investment, all kinds, just investment stocks and stuff. Um, But with that being said, she's not dating Luke anymore. I think she was just testing the waters. No, I didn't think that was going to last. I thought it was just for fun, which is what it kind of looked like it turned out to be. According to her, Luke, I don't know if Luke and Michael actually had a conversation, but there was an issue because Michael came home a whole day early with the kids. Luke was there, so Luke had to go home. And Andy questioned that with Ashley, like, why do you have to go home? You have to go home. Yeah, because when you're a mother, you don't just have anybody random around your children. You shouldn't. And she didn't know him like that. They don't have been dating for a month or something like that. So yeah, she sent him home. And should Michael have a key to her house? His house? Sure. Because their kids are babies. And if there was ever an emergency, he needs to be able to get into that house. But like she said, they have an understanding. So I actually get a lot of the stuff that Ashley is saying. I think it's true. What do y'all think? Do y'all think it's true? Or am I just being gullible? I mean, I just know as a parent that I was a totally different. I mean, you're talking about doing a 360. Life changed, and everything was about my son and the safety of my son. And I didn't have to be my son's father any longer, but we were best friends, and we made sure we maintained great co-parenting skills with one another and with our son. Our son never saw us in anything but loving environments, loving conversations, and that he was the middle of that love. So I really think that's where she is coming from. Let me see and put my glasses on, y'all, because I had to write these notes. I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about when it comes to Ashley. You know, she does her job, and I like her. I like her on Potomac. So I don't want to. Some people say they don't want to be there, or she gets on their nerves. I like her. She does her job, and I think she and Michael will get back together. I really do. I don't. She said they were going to be doing the divorce paper. Robyn asked her, when you going to get divorced? Robyn, are you really asking somebody anything when it comes to a relationship? But anyway, Ashley said in February, well, that would be now. Do you think she's really going to file those papers? Do you think she really wants to divorce Michael? Do you think she wants to be free and have some stronger balls? What did Candice say? Candice, she wants the tight balls. She is young. I kind of always wanted her to have a young man, but you know, love is love. So whatever. We'll keep watching, right? Okay. So let's move on. Going from Ashley, let's talk about Mia. Mia, what can I say? What we saw in the reunion, Mia, she and her husband had lost everything. The brothers done shut down the account, at least cut them out of their account. The brothers own part ownership in this chiropractic business that they had. And for whatever reason, they took Gordon and Mia, or just Gordon, off of the bank account, cut off their money supply, and basically fired Mia. So I guess she does have stock in the business, where she would still get some returns on the business. It sounds like the plan is to sell whatever stock she has, because as of right now, according to Mia, they're living off their savings account. With the way y'all like your lifestyle, how long is that going to last? First of all, they make a lot of bad business decisions, just period. First, who puts $65,000 into a home that you're renting? Why are you renting all your houses? She talked about like 4 different houses, I think, that they rent. That's like throwing money away. You could have thrown that money my direction. You could have rented a room in my house. Like, for real. Poor money management. It's so incredible how people can actually get into businesses and make such bad decisions when it comes to business. And then she says about being bi-coastal. She needed all these different places because she's bi-coastal. And it was so funny because Wendy's like, no, that's not bi-coastal, sweetie. It's North Carolina and whatever. But they're like right next door to each other. So, poor Mia. But I don't know how I feel about Mia, but I do like that she's just kind of being upfront with this whole situation. It really bothered her when they started clowning and playing with her because it's not funny to her. And you know why it's not funny? Because it's her livelihood. And it sounds like they're basically struggling. Sounds like Mia needs her Potomac check. And maybe that's why she's been so off the hook this year, this season, because when she first came on, I liked her. I liked because she kind of checked people and she was going to be the new boss in town. I was kind of loving it. She, came from the bottom and rose to the top. But this season, and maybe even a little bit, she's just been raunchy and nasty, and karma is coming her direction. I'm not gonna get on to that because it's probably gonna be brought up next week when Jacqueline comes on. But Mia, you're kind of getting what you put out, because you will get what you're putting out. And right now, it sounds like you might end up homeless. You forever want to have these penthouses. Oh, we're renting a penthouse. Whenever you have to come out your mouth, the first thing you say is, I'm renting. As a business person, as an investor, any other business person or investor is going to look at you like, really? Why are you renting? Now, don't get me wrong. You can rent, but you should have some property somewhere that you are owning. You are getting a return on, that you're flipping, that you're getting some rents for, it keeps you in the black. But if you're out there just throwing money away for renting, you are literally throwing it away. And no wonder they are with nothing. They're going to be with nothing if you're truly living off a savings account. Man, I would probably put on credit cards if I would take savings. I'm just saying. There wasn't too much to say about her either, though. Mia is Mia. She was talking about this whole sarcoidosis thing. I have a problem with Mia from the very beginning, talking about, I might be cancer and all this other stuff. You don't play with cancer. I agree with this, Gizelle. You were looking for attention, but don't play with cancer. We're talking about stuff that affects people's lives, from the person that's been diagnosed to the family, friends, workers, whatever. A person's whole entire life changes. The hurt, the pain, the struggle people have to go through. And it could be for years, or it can be short. It could be anything. It's so devastating that you just don't play with cancer. So the fact that she did that in the beginning was just outrageous to me, especially to come back with this whole, what they kept calling it a rash. Even sarcoidosis is real. Do you know that? I mean, Bernie Mac died from sarcoidosis. He had it in his lungs, because I want to say it's a connective tissue kind of a situation. It can affect any of your organs. Now, at least for her, it's this topical thing that she had the lump on her buttocks or whatever. And I think she said she had something on her clavicle, a lump. Stop being needy. I know you're doing it all for TV, Mia. I feel like she's doing it all for TV. TV. But don't do it. You shouldn't play with illness. Things do come back to you. Because this lump that might be in your lymph nodes, that could be very real. You just haven't seen it yet. Let's hope we don't really see something come out of that. I just wouldn't play with it. So she kind of threw me off with her whole, it's sarcoidosis. I mean, even the doctors, I'm like, it's sarcoidosis. It's not life-threatening. She talked about having some extra tissue in her reproductive system, and that she's receiving medications that can possibly shrink them. Otherwise, she would probably need a total hysterectomy. And, thank you for sharing. That is real life stuff, as long as it's true. I do want to see you next year, though. So we'll see you for the rest of this reunion. And I want Mia to come back, because I want to see what's going to happen with her whole life, the whole up and down. So, yeah, you're definitely a candidate to continue on with the show. I must say that. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else about Mia that I want to talk about. But since we're talking about surgeries and hysterectomy, let's talk about Gizelle. Because there's not too much to say about her either. Gizelle never has a real storyline. She never really has a storyline, but she loves to mess with people. So her storyline, which should have been really about her surgery, was Chris Bassett. Why is she messing with that man? They all were messing with him though. And what's so sad about it, they were just doing overt lying on this man. Mia, oh, he was looking at me. They showed the camera, never was looking at her. And then whatever the other chick's name is, or that Candy calls Sesame Street. Oh, he groped me. That man never even looked at you. Why were they messing with Chris? But Gizelle, you know you're wrong. Chris, you guys have always had some kind of friendship. He's always liked you. He's always liked Gizelle in a friendly way. Gizelle, that man ain't looking at you. He's not interested. He has Candice. Gizelle, you're an older chick. I don't care how attractive for an older lady you are, but Chris was just being friendly. I don't know what he wanted to talk to Gizelle about, but they're putting too much on this whole thing where he wanted to go to the room where they could talk privately or whatever. Oh, Robyn. Oh, we should just know that no man should try to be in a room with a woman by himself. Girl, since when? No married man. They're friends. They know each other. You're doing too much. And Robyn, you're really doing too much. We're going to talk about Robyn last. We're going to talk about Robyn last. Chris being the gentleman that he is and just trying to keep the peace, sends Gizelle a text basically saying, if I did anything to offend you, I apologize. This girl gonna say, you see, he admitted it. He apologized. He said, if I upset you in any kind of way, I apologize. She decided, you see, he admitted. What's wrong with the way she thinks? And then Andy's like, I think he said if. Andy, you should have just said no. He said if. That man was not taking ownership of something he didn't do, but he was trying to keep the peace. Gizelle. Do I think Gizelle was just making it up that it really bothered her like that, so she would have something to say? Yeah, I think she was making it up. I think she makes up everything. But here comes her Robyn to the Batman. Oh no, she really meant it because she was really upset when she got in the car. It's like, Robyn, be quiet. Oh my, I can't wait to talk about Robyn. She was really upset when she got upset about what? Because he said, let's talk into in your room. Okay, so again, this just like Gizelle always has some bogus storyline, enough to keep her ticking, because her storyline is really everybody else's business. The best thing she did was finally actually talk about her having to have surgery and having her hysterectomy, that a lot of us women, especially as time goes by, we end up having done just to have a quality of life. You know, it's another good topic to actually talk about for real life situations. I'm glad she did bring it up, because women, we go through a lot. We should have a whole show just talking about the stuff that we as women go through. Well, okay, with that being said, is there anything else I want to say about Gizelle? Probably not, because there wasn't much to say about her. Oh, I know. So her storyline coming up for next year sounds like, next season, this dude from Summer House, Jason, what's his name, Jason or Justin? I think it is Justin, that she was introduced to through Ashley and Luke from Summer House. They had took the picture and everything together. I don't see it. Storyline, absolutely. She needs something to talk about. Why can't she meet somebody? What's wrong? I didn't care for her outfit either. Well, maybe it's the way she was wearing it. Maybe it was her hair. She looked old to me. She's not a young woman. You know, I think all of us are in our 50s. But something about her looked matronly. She tries to sit there stoic. She tries to sit there with her poker face on, she and Robyn. But Candice got to her. And it was good because Candice would not back down. Let me see. I'm not done with Gizelle because we're going to talk about Candice next. Let's talk about Candice. Oh, and by the way, I'm glad Chris did not talk to Gizelle. Gizelle wanted to talk about, he had all this time to talk to me, but he didn't talk to me, whatever. Good. You didn't deserve it. Gizelle didn't deserve a conversation from Chris. He did the best thing he could do trying to keep the peace, and that would send that text, the if I hurt you, I apologize. That's all she would get, and that's all she deserves. She's just doing everything for cameras. And I listening to what everybody else says on the panel, you show up for the cameras. You hold on to all this stuff and you make sure you have something for your check. I would say that's smart though, because that's how she keeps herself relevant for this show. Unlike Robyn. Gizelle is calculative. She's about her money. She knows how to play that game. She knows who to schmooze up to. She gets on all of our nerves, but she can't go. Somewhere her day is gonna come, and I think it's already starting because Candice would not back down with her. Let me see. Can we move on to Candice? Yes. Let's talk about Candice. Candice is my MVP. I didn't even care for Candice for multiple seasons. I just found her to be nasty. She would cut too low. She has funny shade, but that girl would cut so low that she makes people want to sock her, which is what happened with Monique. Because she rants and would get all up in your face and talk crazy to you, to anybody. And she just went overboard. She's a trigger. She used to trigger me because that type of behavior, there's so many people that will do that because they're almost daring you to touch them, like she did Monique. Hit me then, touch me then, whatever she was saying to her. People like her, when a person finally snaps, they go completely ballistic normally on you because they've been probably holding back for so long because you're this person that just nags. You're an antagonizer, and then you know that people are scared to go to jail. They don't want the police involved or anything like that, and so you hide behind this shield, knowing that you're not gonna put your hands on anybody, but you know, as soon as somebody puts their hands on you, you're going straight to the police, and you're going to be going to the psychiatrist and everything else. But with that being said, I've always said about Candice, if she would just cool down, relax, pull back a little bit, I would like her because she's really fun. And she has a lot going on positive in her life. And I like watching her grow. So this season, I must say, she has matured. And now she's showing up being the Candice that I always felt she could be. I'm glad I didn't give up on her. And I'm glad I didn't stop watching Potomac when this whole thing happened with Monique. I actually like Candice. She is my MVP because she has the most growth out of all these women. So she went from living in her mom's house and everybody clowning her about that, including me. The mama's wealth and being this little brat. Oh my God, she was such a spoiled brat. She's shining, she's glowing, she's happy. There's something to be said for when you pursue your dreams and they start opening up in front of you. The girl's a go-getter. Everything's happening for Candice, and I'm happy for her. I love how she stands up for her husband, first of all. I like those two as a couple, she and Chris. We're on Candice now. Okay. I love how she stood up for Chris immediately when they were in that yoga studio, whatever. And Gizelle first started the whole plot thing with Chris. And she said, oh, no, we're not doing that. And she went straight to the producer looking for him like, we are not. You are not going to come and try to get my husband. And she stood strong for her husband this entire time, to the point that when Gizelle was talking about the whole apology thing, and I think she called, Gizelle called Chris like sneaky gate or something like that. Gizelle did try to apologize somewhat for saying that, basically saying that Chris is sneaky. And Candice was like, oh, no, I don't accept that apology. She said, you can take that apology and shove it. She would not let it go when it came to Gizelle. Gizelle was like, okay, but Candice, you were talking about Michael Darby. You were talking about Juan. She said, no, honey. No, because we talking about you. Oh, yours. You know, Candice she's good for that. But again, she wasn't doing it in that manner that said, I'm going to jump up out my seat and get you. She's better the way she articulates now the energy she puts behind it. But what she was not playing with was her husband. She's not playing with Gizelle. And when she told Gizelle, you so busy trying to ruin men's lives and everything when you should have been focusing on your dwindling uterus story. Like, you should have been focused on your health and your dwindling uterus. I'm sorry, that girl come up with some good ones. She just does. It was funny to me. Not that I find anything um, funny about what happens with women in our reproductive system, but sometimes you have to know how to see a joke when there is a joke, or see where there's shade that is funny. And especially when you're trying to, when you're mad at somebody, that was good shade. And it was true. Why are you trying to tear up everybody? Gizelle is always trying to tear up people's marriages. She's always in the middle of some mess, talking dirty and nasty, and then she throws rocks and stones and bricks and then hides her hands all the time. And Candice wasn't having it this time. She was like, no, own your stuff is you. Is you. Forget your apology. F your apology. In other words, shove it. I was like, okay, Candice. Let me just say this. Candice, she has her 6 embryos. She's so excited. I'm looking forward to seeing her with child very soon, one day, because she has her career. What is it, Deep Space? I like her music. Now, let me tell you this. See, this is how you know that your personality and character matters. Her music, I've liked from day one. That go-go beat, ooh, I love it. Okay, but it's good. But I refuse to buy her stuff last season, 2 seasons ago, whatever, because how nasty she was as a person. I could not get past how nasty she was as a person. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to support somebody who's so awful. I'll get it now though, because I just see her growth, and I hope she stays here. I hope she picks and chooses her battles and just presents herself the way she's doing right now. Be a little shady, but don't be where people want to beat you up. Let's see. Um, so Candice, she has her music. She's done all kinds of. She's been acting. I think she's fulfilling all her dreams, and I love that for her. I think she has like a wig line too, or something, a store, something like that. I don't know how that's doing, but I think she went on and got her master's degree. She's not a joke, and she's still married. And I want to say happily married. And that's what I hope for her. That even we don't know what's really going on behind closed doors, but I'm glad that she didn't let this show or the people push her away from her husband that she loves and now wants to have a family with. And let me just say this too. I do not have a problem with the woman. If you have all that talent, saying, one day I'm going to retire my husband, because that's what love looks like. The man does not have to be the breadwinner like Ashley, because basically, well, they kind of went back and forth a little bit. And, Ashley had made a comment about Candice previously, living off her mother or whatever, and that, she needed to grow up. When the reality is that Ashley, although this is your husband, you live off your husband. Not taking anything away from Ashley, but you wouldn't be living the way you live if it wasn't for Michael. But I really feel like, and you can definitely see this happen in life when you pursue your dreams and you stay focused and you go from goal to goal to goal, you can blow up. And we're watching it happen with Candice. And I hope one day, and I hope very soon, she can retire her husband and they really can just be a team together promoting his food or whatever, and everything she does. I feel she'll probably write a book, and she'll probably do some more movies and some more music. And then she's still on Potomac. And I'm glad you're able to keep your spot. I actually look forward to seeing you now. Oh, like I'm talking to her. I look forward to seeing Candice now on Potomac. I enjoy her now. So, do y'all enjoy her? I'm just talking. Do y'all enjoy her? Can y'all see the difference in Candice? What do you think about Gizelle? You think they're not gonna get rid of her, but she rides on everybody else's coattail. Honestly, she does. Let's see. I guess all I want to say about Candice. There's not too much to say about Wendy, she didn't really have much of a storyline. Her kidney stones, uh, except for what we didn't talk about this. We didn't see it on the reunion yet. But when Mia threw a little drink on her and all that kind of stuff. But she really had that much to say. So I don't have that much to say about Wendy. Except she did the whole lying thing because she does lie. And then she got caught with the hot mic. She owned it, but how can you not own it? But I like Wendy. So I didn't like her either that much either. I feel like maybe she's starting to tone down, just kind of bring it in a little bit. Because what I really enjoy about Wendy is that she's also beautiful. That's a pretty woman. She really does have it's hard for me to say a sophistication about herself because she's done some really raunchy kind of stuff on the show, but she is well educated and she is a professor and she is a commentator with politics or whatever. You root for somebody like that. I just want her to stay in that poise where you know how to have fun with your friends. You just have a good time. You can do a little light shade. But when you're doing the stuff that she was doing with Mia, she's done some things, period, that she was almost like Candice that make you want to just pop her. I hope she stays pulled back from that. She might still do some lying because if that's who you are, if you're just a liar, you will probably lie. But I like her. I mean, I liked her this season. So let's see what happens next season. But yeah, go on, bring her back. I didn't want her back last time. So sometimes you got to give these shows a break. But I'm actually enjoying them. Um, are y'all enjoying it? What do you think about Wendy? What do you think? She's so pretty. And I love watching her stuff with her kids and her family. And she does a lot of speaking engagements and stuff like that. Highlight some of that stuff. Highlight that for her. Yeah, but that was really it. There was not too much to talk about with her. Karen said a lot without saying anything. Karen's facial expressions. Her time is coming. Probably when Sharice comes on. But she didn't have much to say, but her facial expressions said it all. I think it was so funny when Andy said to her, if there was a group called Robyn, what would it be like? And she said, boring. Robyn, you asked for the smoke. You came for Karen, so now she's coming for you. What else was it with Karen? Oh, when Robyn was talking about being married, when Andy said to Robyn, okay, so Robyn, so you're married, you're newly married. Karen started, oh, that was so funny. Karen started yawning and stuff. Oh. So anyway, that's all there is to say about Karen for this reunion because she did way more facial expressions that were super funny and they said a lot. So let's get to Robyn. I wanted to wait for Robyn last because we got everybody. Robyn. Should they fire Robyn? Robyn was double dipping. She knew about this whole thing with Juan and this other woman. There's probably more, but this particular one has come up with receipts and all this other stuff. And Robyn knew before the season even started and had nerves to be talking about other people, knowing she had this whole situation going on. She didn't want to share it on Potomac, but she wants to do it on Patreon. Isn't it called double dipping? Would y'all play with your Potomac check for a Patreon check for one conversation about something that everybody kind of knows about already? You the one that didn't share, but people already know. They just waiting to hear you say it. And then she finally owns up to it. She owns up to knowing about, I guess she talked about it on Patreon, knowing about this other woman and how Juan was not with her. Oh, you really believe Ron? Is she really that naive that she really believes Juan, or is she just always trying to protect him? She's trying to protect their union. I don't think she's doing a good job of it. Why is she always trying to protect that union for her kids? You think that her kids are like preteens and teen, right? I wonder, does she really think they don't know or get it that something's right, not right, and that is their father? That's the one. And oh, I don't even know what else to say. Robyn, should they fire her or make her work for her check? Because Robyn needs that money. Where else are they getting money from? You have one, I don't know if he was suspended or anything yet, but has this lawsuit coming up that he's been named in with the whole catfishing young person that was on his team that told him something was going on and he just ignored it. And so his name has come up, that's awful. If you haven't seen that, you can probably Google it. But it's just an awful situation. This poor child, he's just a young child. And you're supposed to trust your coaches. Coaches are supposed to treat you like your father, like literally. They're supposed to take care of you. You should be able to go to them and know that they're going to intervene in some kind of way. And he didn't. Juan is interesting. I don't even know why she's still running behind him. I know that's your kid's father, but so he's a liar. He's not even faithful. And I think for a long time, Robyn, you'll do anything for a storyline. You made him your storyline, but you actually married him again, knowing that this situation has happened. Robyn kind of has this bully kind of facade going on. She's always real still. I think she's like very tomboyish at one point or whatever. You know, you can be pretty and still tomboyish, but she's not good faking the funk. She doesn't really know how to lie good. You would think she would have picked up some tips from Gizelle, but Giselle's not a good liar either. She just don't care. She just doesn't care. But Robyn, this whole thing where you're willing to tell your story on Patreon and not on Potomac, I fire you. She will be. I'll tell her go on to Potomac, go on and grow your Patreon because she's really not needed on Potomac. I'm sorry. She would be really good if she ever turned on Gizelle. She does it every now and then. I really thought it was going to happen this season because she started saying no to Gizelle and speaking her truth. Because Robyn has a lot of truth behind her when it comes to Gizelle. She just doesn't say it. But I feel like if Andy and them really want to have a really good show, suspend Robyn, demote her, mess with her pocket because she has that beautiful new home. Somebody has to be able to pay for it. And again, I don't even know if Juan is still working. Gotta look that up. Has he been suspended? What's going on with that? But even if he is, he's spending his money on different women. She was really trying to protect him, stand up for him with this whole receipt thing. Oh, no, she was all the way out here and, I guess she couldn't get her money. I don't know. I can't remember what her whole excuse was, but that's why he paid for her to have a room. Why would anybody's husband pay for some random woman that you don't know, that you supposedly only talk to on Instagram? You shouldn't have done that. And you're going to pay for a room for her? She's supposed to be out there to meet up with some football player. Why he didn't pay for her room? Why would your husband have anything to do with her that his name would go on? Robyn, there's nothing Robyn said about any of that situation with this other woman that made any sense. It just makes her sound ridiculous, honestly. I would suspend her. I'm kind of bothered by that. When it comes to business, and you're willing to get your money on the side, but you get a check from Potomac, and you're not coming up with your truth, and it's a reality show, and you're really not bringing it anyway. Her whole storyline has been this marriage that she didn't even have on the show. She just showed some pictures. they suspended, was it Kenya? Or they suspend her? I think they suspended Kenya when she went off and got married to that nut. But Robyn, I would make her work for her money now. She's been riding on Gizelle's coattail all this time. Uh, and then, but you're willing to be so blatantly disrespectful to Bravo, to Andy, to your producers, to have this kind of stuff going on that's all in the news with your husband. But you're going to talk about it, but you got to come over to the Patreon and pay for that. That was so stupid. Can you do the math? I would do the math because I'm pretty sure the numbers are higher when it comes to Potomac. And that's a regular check as long as you do your part. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. I can't wait. Because Robyn, you have a lot. I bet if Robyn were to really start speaking her mind and even standing up to Gizelle, although I know they have this shady thing, unreasonably or reasonably shady or whatever podcast, and so they still work together. But girl, if you really want to keep your check and keep a roof over your kids' heads and try to have some kind of generational wealth for your children in the very near future, you would want to keep your job and you might want to do your job. She had the audacity to say to, when Gizelle was talking about Chris and them being in the hotel room, can we all just be clear? Can we just all keep this real? That no married man, it's just not right that any married man should be in a hotel room with a single woman. I was like, is she having PTSD right this minute? Are you really talking about Juan? Because he really is in that situation with another woman that he was communicating with and no telling what else with, and then supposedly passing down allegedly to the next one, your husband. Robyn, you sound real silly. How can Robyn just talk about other people with all those skeletons in her own closet? And she has a lot, I think, a lot more because of Juan, but her too. I can't wait to see them come out. Not that I want anything bad for her or her family, or especially her children, but you're on a reality show, Robyn. And you have now showed the world that you don't speak your truth, even when you know it. Even when you're taping and you know you got all this going on, and you'll talk about somebody else cheating and won't talk about your own husband. I would take that check. She can be replaced because at this point you really are boring. You're not talking about anything real. Then you're gonna throw it in everybody's face and say, "Well, I want you to come pay for my Patreon. What, $26, $50 or whatever? Come over there, and then I'll tell you the truth." Are you crazy? Oh, sorry. Andy, I hate to take anybody's money, but she got to work for it. She needs to be demoted. I don't want to say fired. I want her to have the opportunity to speak truth. She didn't do the wedding. She hasn't said anything about this stuff going on with Juan. And inquiry minds want to know. I'm just saying. What else do I want to say about Robyn? We said the double dipping. That's really it, because there's not that much more that she even talks about. She has a very bullyish kind of way about her. As pretty as she is, she'll lie to cover up for Juan. In the very beginning, when Andy said to her, "Hey, congratulations on your marriage." "Oh, thank you. So is Juan coming?" "Oh, no, he's working." He said, "Of course he is." Ooh, you saw those facial expressions? Of course he is. Andy's getting sick of her and probably everybody else. Anyway, so I can't wait to see how all this unravels. Thank you for coming by. Candice Speaks. Looking forward to Reunion 2. Write down in the comment section what you think about each of our cast members. What do you think about Robyn? Should she be fired? I think she should be suspended and demoted. Until next week, you guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button, and share with your friends. And let's talk about this again next week. Until then, have a great night.